Welcome to the Last Lap Live. I'm Brian Smith. This is Shelly This Guy, our last show of the evening, or last show of the year. We have Kyle Capodice with us, driver of is it the Capodice Racing? Is that what it is? Or
Yeah.
Capodice Racing number 12. You gonna get some stickers on that thing next year? Maybe some
yeah,
color?
hopefully we're working on that right now.
Okay, good. It's the all black car with all black numbers with some some white outline. It's kind of hard to see sometimes. But,
That's what I've heard.
we had the World of Outlaws at Fremont Speedway. Am I in the shot here? I'm not used to doing this. I haven't done this in like a month. But
Slacker.
yeah, we had the World of Outlaws at the Fremont Speedway on Saturday, and it was a good show, I think.
Quick.
Unless you're a Donnie Schatz hater, and then it wasn't a good show. But I thought it worked out good. He started 11th and
Came from the B.
came from the
Missed
B.
the dash.
Right.
Yeah.
We're out of practice. Steve, you want to walk over there and shut that door? Farmer's out in the...
Or tell him to be quiet.
Yeah, that's not happening. Farmer's out in the green room making big deals for next year, working everything all
Yeah.
out, so he's out there yakking. But 47 cars,
Yep.
and we had a ton of
Vintage
cars there too,
Yeah.
which was
It's a big
interesting.
deal to them guys. They come in and have a good time with it.
One of the coolest things of the night was David Harrison putting on the open face helmet and the
Yeah,
It
that
was
pretty
cool.
cool.
bandana and the goggles and leading the field down for the 4 wide.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
That was some good stuff. But we can talk about the World of Outlaws some if you want. Let's play that video that I got, the GoPro footage here. My brother and I was down there taking pictures instead of racing. And
I didn't get it because this
see
was a
Little
really
High.
good track for you.
yeah, well, we can talk
Probably
about
a
that.
week of rain you didn't suspect.
Yeah, well, we had to put the stuff away already. The car's in the garage ready to get torn down.
That's a good shot right there.
This, yeah, it took us a while to get this, but some of you people up in the stands, I'm sure you saw this. 2 morons running around back and forth on the racetrack up against the wall and trying to figure out what we were doing. We were trying to place this GoPro up there so that we could get some cool shots that you probably haven't seen. Everybody always says how slow Fremont Speedway is, and I actually heard somebody said, I saw it on Twitter, that they've seen slick tracks, but Fremont slick is a whole new ball game.
It's funny you said that because Kerry Madsen said the same thing. He hated it. He said they'd raced slick tracks, but never a Fremont slick like that.
It wasn't even slick.
No?
No, Fremont has been
No,
slick.
yeah.
They were still running 12.8s in qualifying. We've been there, and it dropped off to like 13.3 to 13.5.
After about the 5th car.
Right, but it was still 13.3, 13.5.
Yeah.
I think we qualified there once this year. It was like 14.7.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really that slick, but this kind of gives you an idea of the speed. It's kind of neat. You got some dirt crumbles coming across there and stuff.
Yeah, I like that shot.
After the races, my brother and I went home so I could dump all this footage so we could use it tonight for the opening and all that stuff. And this was like 12 minutes long or something. We sat there and watched the whole thing,
I
just
bet.
watching the cars come up to the wall, and
It's a perfect shot.
yeah, it's a really neat shot. I know there's some GoPros
The
out here.
9X, every time that 9X car's come around, it looks like he's on it. I mean, on
Yeah.
the wall. You see how close he is?
There's the 29 car does that a few times too. He's right up there. There's a couple shots I think in here somewhere that the cars actually get up against the wall and bang into it some. We had it down on the infield there for the tires a little bit early in the night and did some slow-mo stuff and all that. But
I think the comment I seen was, I was thinking back to what you said, way to go with the GoPro for speeding it up, making it look like Fremont was actually a fast racetrack.
yeah,
Yeah, that you had the ability with the GoPro to make it look like it was faster.
right. This I don't understand how people say that though. You can go ahead and come back if you want. It's just the same thing. Shots ends up winning. It's the same as every other World of Outlaw race all
No
year.
kidding.
But in qualifying, some of them guys are running 120 mile an hour at the end of the back straightaway. People don't realize that
Right.
they're going that fast. You know, they do have to slow down quite a bit for the corners, but that's a lot of speed for a little racetrack.
I
like
noticed that in the feature. I think I said to Farmer, must have been during the caution. I didn't think who was leading it over. Shane and Chris put on a good race there for a while.
Definitely.
And I think that in my mind, I thought that Shane's outmotored him because Chris was really good in the turns and he'd get up on him, and then down the straightaway he
He'd
just
pull him over.
he couldn't even keep with him on the straightaways.
There was still a lot of bite down on the end.
Yeah, you could see
the
Shane
inside.
come off of like 2 and just
Well,
he was
yeah.
crazy fast going down like
The
that.
pass that Shots made for the lead, they got
Oh
up
my gosh.
behind the 29 car there, and
That was spectacular.
That was
The 15 got stuck behind the 29 and then dove underneath both of them, going through 3 and 4 like he
was
squared the corner and.
like it was every day.
Yep.
Yep.
It is. It is
It
every day. That was
is.
like
I
what, win 27 or something.
27. Yeah.
27.
So I
is.
told Christopher the 29 has had several podium finishes behind him, and I said, well, you guys just have to get used to that. Just pretend that's a win because he,
Yeah, they would never do that.
Donnie's hot, though.
Definitely not a win. That's my brother and I were talking. Steve Kinzer is the king, obviously, and he has been all these years. He won a lot of races with a way better race car, and Donnie Schatz is winning a lot of races with the same stuff everybody else has. I know people are always saying that he's cheating, he's got traction control and all that kind of stuff. That it's all garbage. Everybody has the opportunity to have the same stuff. There's cars with $1 million plus budgets, and he's beaten those cars.
Yeah.
He's just between him and Ricky Warner, they're
I
on
don't think
fire.
they're probably not cutting corners in the budget department. The
Well, there's
Schatz
only
car isn't.
Yeah, but there's only so much you can spend.
Yeah.
You got to do it on the racetrack, and moves like that, the one to take the lead,
Yeah.
is the kind of stuff that
From
Donnie Schatz
11
does.
at Fremont.
Right, and doesn't bump into anybody.
That
You know.
touch car.
Yeah,
I seen him coming and I was like, oh shoot! And then the caution came out. And
yeah. You could hear that across the stands.
I
We were in
know.
the infield, and you could hear it. Oh.
So, and even when the race was over, I was in the infield too, and I looked up. I specifically made a point to look at the crowd, and everybody was just kind of like, ugh.
Yeah.
You had your few Schatz fans, but normally, it would had Chris Andrews have won. Could you
Yeah.
imagine
Oh,
what
yeah.
the place
That
would went?
would-
But it was just like, yeah, people were getting their blankets and their stuff, and they were clearing
Right.
out the house.
I understand that to a point, but he's the best in the world right now. I mean, there's no better dirt sprint car driver than him. You should really enjoy that. To
Or
be
at least
able to,
respect it.
yeah, at least respect it and stay till the end.
Yeah.
That he's got. That.
You got to realize what you're seeing now, because in 20 years you might not see that, and he won't be doing that. It's the same thing with Steve Kinzer.
Yep.
You know,
It's his turn.
he's been phenomenal for all these years, but to me, Steve Kinzer fans might be mad at me, but it looked like he fell out of the seat in the heat race. It looked like he fell out of the seat in the dash and couldn't keep up in the feature. And it's still cool to see Steve Kinzer race, but it's not the same guy. You know what I mean? So I think you should, as a fan, appreciate that while it's happening.
Right.
Because it's something to see somebody at a high level like that, whether you like him or not. It's still amazing to see
I
somebody.
know my
at that
brother
level.
said to me, he goes, I felt kind of bad. I was in the infield and everybody was kind of booing him, and he goes, they don't even know if they were booing him. They were just disrespectfully walking out. And I said, I think at Donnie Schatz level, and I've always said that if they're booing you, you have to feel like you've done your job because they're sick of seeing you. So you're there and they're booing you, and they're not booing you because they don't like you as a person. They're booing you because they're sick of seeing you there.
Right. He's it'll turn around too eventually, just like here locally, just like it did for Mark Keegan. Mark
Yeah.
Keegan won for years and years and years, and they booed him for years and years and years. And then when he won the Legends race this year, the place went bonkers.
Yep. All of
No.
a sudden, Fremont's another a reborn Mark Keegan.
Right.
Community.
Exactly. Well, it's the same thing with Steve Kinzer. He won all them years. Anybody but Kinzer. Blah blah
Yeah.
blah. They hated Steve Kinzer, and now he's on his tour here, and everybody wants their picture with him, and everybody cheers for him, and
You
and all
pay
that
an
kind of
extra
stuff.
sanctioning fee to have them come because they're doing the tour of the king or whatever.
Yeah, that's what we don't know about that,
Yeah.
but well, we can understand that. And it'll be the same thing with Donnie Schatz in the future too. I think
Yeah.
it'll be the same kind of thing. There was a lot of people that were upset when Sammy Swindell announced his retirement. I know there's a lot of Sammy Swindell haters too, but to lose a top guy like that, it's still
And the way he did it, he just
Right.
Just like that.
Yep, he just done.
right. I'm wondering how Steve Kinzer's dealing with this. Not that it's anything wrong, but he came up and Frankie Kerr and Mark Keegan gave him a plaque, and he's doing that at every race.
Every single-
at 100+ schedule.
Yeah, and there's no time for him to concentrate on racing. He's doing his tour.
I
not being
noticed
able to-
early on at Attica, it's funny that you bring that up, when they did their little deal at Attica, he was just like, wah, 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 wah.
Going
He was
through the motions.
you could tell he was just like, yeah, whatever, let's get, I'm not picking on Attica or anything, but I just noticed his demeanor was just like, oh, geez, here we go again, and that was spring, right?
There was
Early spring, because it was cooler in the evening, I
I
remember.
think it was May, beginning of May.
Yeah.
But he did a something at a church in Knoxville, an interview deal with Steve Post from Wing Nation, and I think they had Andy Hillenberg on, and they were talking about it and kind of asked him what he was going to do afterwards, and he said, well, I hope it's not just talk about the old times. You know, it's almost like he's had enough of this.
Right.
You know, he's had enough of the racing because it's time to stop, and he's had enough of the talking about stopping.
Yeah.
You know, just
That's why we had even talked about it coming into Fremont. I said, you know, are we going to do something for him? And we actually teetered on the fence with not doing anything because it's become so mundane.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, you have to listen. And I remember Attica showed like a video, and a long video, and I personally got bored with it. But so we tried to keep it real small and give him a plaque, get a picture, and
it was fast enough that my brother who takes videos for the show and the track photographer
missed it.
missed it.
Did
Just
he?
about. They got there right at the end. It's
Yeah.
like we didn't even know something was happening.
And that was kind of our thought process. You know, he's done this. They've had, I know it's 100 plus, and they've only had 2 rainouts.
So he's doing them all.
So he's not missed any of
Any.
them. So
Right.
we thought the quicker we can get him in and out of there, maybe he would appreciate that a little bit more than showing the video of someone throwing an egg and hitting him and all that good
Yeah.
stuff, you know?
I mentioned Frankie Kerr was there, though, which was interesting. Shouldn't he have been at Talladega? They were qualifying for Talladega. Isn't he the chief
Crew
mechanic?
chief, I would,
Or
I
crew chief
thought
on it?
so.
Oh, that was interesting. It was good to see him, though. It was good to see Frank. I haven't seen him in a couple years, actually. But he seemed to be enjoying himself. Came up with his
Yeah.
daughter, Sammy, and so that was pretty neat. Is that all we're going to talk about that? Yeah, this is dead air.
Yeah.
That's it. Thanks for
Well-
coming.
Well, that's how the night ended too. It was just like, boom, done. They were out of there. Place was closed down.
quick.
Like 9:30, it seemed like. It was a little later before we got out of there, but
Nobody wanted to go down and hang out at the winner's trailer because it was down in shots. So.
yeah,
Plus, you had the pit pass thing.
yeah,
with
the
your-
upgrade with the pit pass.
Right. So there was a lot of people. The
I don't
pits were
really
packed.
particularly like it. I think it gets Fremont. They're all congested, but it seems like once the
really
cars
tight.
get moving, it's really
Well
tight in
packed
there.
in.
And I went down there one time, and I was like, oh my gosh, because you get people that have never been in the pits before because they're getting that free pit pass
Mhm.
upgrade, and they're wandering around and they're not paying attention, and it's an instant anxiety attack for someone like me because there was just too much.
It's another thing you don't think about is on a regular night you've got 90 cars and 30 big trailers, and you had 47 cars and 44 giant trailers that
Exactly.
were taking up a lot of space. You don't realize how much more space they take up until you walk down through the corner there in 3 and 4, and all the outlaw trailers were lined up there, and it
There's
just
no
packs.
room, isn't there?
Yeah.
I know I made it as far as the country kitchen there on my little wow buggy, and it looked like a cluster mess there. The push trucks and all the cars were trying to get out to fire their motors, and I thought, oh my god.
Everybody wanted pictures. They were all standing
Oh, it was
around.
horrible.
Was that the cushion that was there that was doing interviews and stuff?
You know,
before the cushion?
we talked about this. We're all not real sure who that is.
Really?
I got a call at the racetrack the other day. On the racetrack phone, I had them all forwarded to my cell phone so that we were at least trying to catch as many as we could because the weather was weird, you know. And this guy calls me and he asks me about free pit passes, and he's shooting a video and everything. And I had no idea what he was talking about. So when I didn't tell him what he wanted to hear, he says to me, "Well, I need to talk to Lindsay." And I kind of laughed and I said, "Lindsay, our groundskeeper girl?" And he goes, "Well, yeah, she told me I could get into." So to make a long story short, I'm not real sure who he is, but before we open the gates, this guy shows up and he's at the gate, and I go to the gate and I said, "Can I help you?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm looking for Lindsay." And I was like, I know who this guy is,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I
He
don't
had a
know.
big rig and a big setup and
And you know,
microphones.
he was doing a lot of really cool stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that whoever he is, or whoever he works for, that maybe we get to see what he did, because he had the haulers coming across. You know, he was shooting
Yeah.
them coming in, and he did some infield stuff. And
and
I asked
was-
Lindsay, and Lindsay had no idea.
Huh.
So
Well, that's interesting. If anybody knows what that was, kind of fill us in.
Yeah.
Help us out. Let's go ahead and take a break. Do we have any highlights or anything from that? No highlights. You know, there was some on YouTube. You could have clicked those up and showed the
Yeah.
highlights from the feature. But all right. Well, let's go ahead and take a commercial break, and we'll come back and talk with our guest, Kyle Kapdes.
Great, Professor, so I want to use the square root method here, right?
We're making it more convenient to go to college. Learn on your own terms at Terra State Community College, with day, evening, weekend, and online classes that make college work around your life. Register now at terra.edu.
Okay, cool. Towel?
Napa know-how.
Oh, yeah.
Napa Legend batteries are built to last and loaded with power.
Nice.
Come on, Pete, hook me up.
What?
Hook me up!
That was a one-time thing. You said we weren't.
Hook me up, man, come on! Come on!
Last time.
Come on, come on, come on. Yeah. Whoa! Oh! Oh! Okay! Okay! Get it up! Get it up! Insist on Napa Legend batteries.
Did you turn
I
that
just
down?
got another one.
Is that what it was, Steven?
Yeah.
You turned it down? All right.
Again?
You can
want
hear
a
us
whole
now?
Nother...
No, not the whole thing.
No,
Okay.
just here.
I was gonna say I'm going
So
on
you know.
strike after
First 2
this.
minutes.
So what this was is Steven, our board op, who's sitting over there, turned the sound down for some reason and didn't turn it back up. So you can send what's your email address so that we can send the hate mail to you. It wasn't us. We had nothing to do with it. We just come in here and sit and talk to racers.
I'm gonna just real quickly shout out to Keegan Gressman. He watches me every week on this show. Last week I got a picture of him sitting in front of the computer like this, just waiting, and we weren't on. So poor kid wasted his evening. So, hi Keegan.
Did they put on one of the old shows for him so he could watch it?
I don't know, but I felt really bad.
Which camera? Hi, Keegan. We should have Keegan come on and draw a picture for us
Yeah.
so we can hang that out there. But that's Scott Gressman from
Yes.
Gressman Power Sports' son.
His little guy.
So
Yep.
there, we got sound back, so we're good to go. We got many producers out there, so we know what's going on.
Without him, we'd be screwed though.
Yeah.
Because this is like the third week in a while that this happened. I think we went the whole first half hour.
It's our tech guy.
Yeah.
to get with
We're
it.
gonna have to.
He's worried about racing his truck and being a late model guy and all that kind of stuff. So what's the plans for Kyle Capdice? What's down
For
the-
next year,
How old are you?
I'm 19.
Oh, so you got a late start in sprint cars.
Yeah, but Marshall Campbell out of Lima, Ohio, I hopped in his
Everybody
360
knows
car.
Marshall.
I drove his 360 car when I was 16 just to get in it and make laps because Todd Wolford, the guy that's kind of helping us out, used to race 410s and they knew each other, and that's how I got into sprint car racing.
So that had to be fun for you because I personally think Marshall's a heck of a motor builder. I
Yeah.
think he has hard hitting motors, or he usually has.
Yeah, that's what I've heard,
Yeah.
yeah. And he's been real good to us along with Todd Wolford.
They
And-
kind of help you out, or
Yeah,
Todd does, right?
Yeah, Todd kind of helps us out, and Marshall is always there. Like I call him up after every race almost, and just for pointers, tell him how we did. And he said he's going to make it up for a couple races and watch when he can.
So does Marshall still have his 360 car? Maybe he'll let you hop in that.
I would like to, that's for sure.
Well, if Marshall's out there listening, maybe
Yeah,
we'll put a bug in his
Put some
ear.
pressure on him too with our international show.
Because he hasn't raced any this year, has he?
No, he has not. He's just been helping a little bit with Hud Horton's working on his car here and there. But yeah, I don't think he ever put a deal together.
I thought he had one, a car, and then I
Yeah.
didn't see anything happen with it.
Yeah, nothing happened.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There's that 360 you're looking for.
Right.
That's the next step. So what's the long-term goals?
The long-term goal is to get in a 410 car.
Okay. So that you can run with the World of Outlaws, or are you?
That'd be nice,
Local
but
track champion.
I'd be
but-
satisfied with racing Fremont and Attica.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we need to aim higher. You got to aim higher than that. So that way, if you fall
Set
a
your
little
goals
short,
high.
yeah. Aim. It's not really that much higher. We got the All Stars and the Renegades
That's
that you can
true.
step up through, and then end up with.
Did you
Yeah.
just chuckle over
World
there?
of
Did he
Outlaws.
chuckle? I think he chuckled.
Did you really? Is there something that you wanted to say here, Steven?
When you spit out that whole.
Which one did you laugh? Was it the All Stars, or was it the Renegades, or was it the fact that he wants to jump up to the next level? That was the Renegades. That's Steven. What's S Pocock at? Is it Yahoo or is it
You
Hotmail?
got
Or?
it. I think it's Yahoo.
That has nothing to do with us. That's definitely our board op. We
We'll
should
have
flip
to
a
come
camera
back
on.
to that though. That topic after we're done with.
Back to the
Kyle.
Renegades. All right.
Well, because they just announced that they're gonna have a race at Finley at Millstream.
This year?
No,
No,
not
not this year.
No.
A couple. Has that been announced on our show? It's pretty much. It's all out there now that
It's been
Randy and Lisa Hammer are taking over or going to promote some races at Millstream Speedway.
From what I gathered from the release that I read, is it might not be all sprint cars. It said numerous
Special events.
special events or something, so I didn't know if. I'm just gonna go out there on a limb. When you get the rows involved, it could be motocross, infield stuff, or you never really know, and it is what it is. You know, you don't
Well,
know with
I can
them.
tell you there's been a lot of talk about Millstream reopening. There was for a long time, and then it opened and they had a good race, and then there was a long time and it opened, and Rich has been involved, and there's a long time, and there's a lot of people
Well, you know,
that would really like to have it racing. So
yeah. And I wish Randy and Lisa all the luck in the world. We tried to do it for a couple of, we did a couple races over there, and we actually had like a longer term commitment to do that. But you get to a point in the financial end, and you don't see any light at the end of the tunnel, and you're actually improving someone else's piece of property. You know,
Right.
when you're
Greg
putting
and
in new
Greg
electric
Rostow
and new
owns that.
sound and everything like that. That stuff don't leave with you. That stuff stays. So
Stays.
you have to sit down and say, okay, where do I draw the line at this?
Look at the overall.
So,
picture.
I really, really would like to see Millstream, even though it's coming into an already saturated area. We got Orville and Fremont and Attica, and now we're saturating this sponsor dollars have to come from somewhere, and we're all pulling
Well,
out of
if
the
you
same
can draw
pot.
from Findlay, though, I mean, Findlay's a
Very
big city, so
and they're very well off. You know,
Right.
if you look Findlay up, I don't know what the annual medium is, but it's a
there's some money there.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
is
there's
some money there, and it's been sitting there. So I hope to see it work, but I think you're gonna have to have really deep pockets.
There's
to
all
make
that.
it work.
There's housing that's come up around there
Mhm.
since it ran every week and all that kind of stuff that most racing people know about. You know, there's been a lot of talk over the years about that, and a lot of hoping and wishing. And,
Yeah, but you don't want to see it go away.
Right.
I always wanted. My dad raced there, so I always had a soft spot for it. But when you go and the walls are kind of falling in, and there's no dirt, and
Definitely a lot of work.
you know,
to be done.
there's a lot of work there, and I just think it's going to take a lot of hard work and a lot of cash.
And the Renegades are they're going to have a race or two there. Sounds like so. Hopefully they'll be able to bring in some more money and be involved, and maybe they'll be able to help with that, and and get it up and running again. So
But then again, where's all that money? You know,
yeah, there's a
they're
lot of
you
stuff
know,
that's got to happen.
they're digging out of the
perfectly to
same
make it happen.
pot too. You know, they're
Right.
trying to get up and going, and I don't know.
At least we're talking about racing.
We are, and you know,
at least it's not gone. And
you and I talked about this earlier. I see the Renegades announced they were going to put on a race at Tri-City.
Right.
Yet another racetrack that hasn't ran a whole lot recently. So
I'll tell you what, if I'm living in McCutcheonsville right now, I'd be starting to talk to people. Maybe we can get that place
that
up and
one's
running
really
again.
bad. We actually stopped there and walked around, and that one doesn't even resemble a racetrack much anymore.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you know, the seats are still there and stuff. But
Well, grown over and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, still that you never know. Though. You just
yeah,
never know.
you never do.
Like I said,
And
it's good we're talking about racing again there.
I'm
so.
glad that there's, you know, you're seeing people interested in it and doing it. I wish them all the luck.
It's going to be an interesting off season. There's a lot of stuff. It seems like this is going to be a really busy off season.
I
Like
was
you said,
hoping
Tri
for a
City.
quiet one.
There's talk about the one in Carolina might be reopening.
What's that?
North Carolina or whatever. I see a lot care about that Facebook too.
I don't think we're going to race down there though.
No.
But with Tri City and Millstream
Millstream.
and the Renegades and a lot of silly season racing stuff,
Every-
hang in there and be making some phone calls because you just
Stand
never
back
know
and
what can
watch.
happen.
We talked about it earlier. I seen the stupidest thing happen in this past. I've been watching everybody with their Brian's looking like, oh my gosh, is she really gonna
Hey, go for
there?
it. Go for it.
this
Everybody's
time-
got an opinion.
Well, and that's all it is. It's just my stupid female opinion. But I see all these people putting press releases out. I see Danny Holtgraver let go after winning 7 All-Star. He may have won 5. I think he had 2. But and of course I'm a huge supporter of Danny. I think he's a great kid. But you leave him go and you bring in a team that hasn't won any races, and I don't understand you race people sometimes. I'm baffled by it.
You're a race people, so
I
you're all part
know,
of it.
but I like to think that I make all the right decisions.
Yeah. It's a volatile sport. I've said that before. You just never know what can happen, and people have one race deals that you think they're going to last forever,
Yeah.
and people
I
last
don't think
forever in
there's
races.
such a thing. A race deal that lasts forever unless it's your own.
Yeah, well, forever is like 5 years. That's forever.
It
So
really is.
You just never know, and it never changes. Jack Hodenshield was in Danny Mumo's car. for the
Yeah.
Auto race.
Yeah,
You know, they're friends obviously, and they've
because they're
known
all
to-
from that
right.
little bird.
But Jack Hodenshield was in Danny Mumo's car. You know what I mean? He was in the 59 car at one time. You know, you'd think that the 9W would have showed up at
Yeah,
Fremont
where
Saturday,
were
and
they?
they weren't there. You know, it's just, it's a crazy,
It is.
crazy world.
I
so.
said we all have to love it to do it because it would drive a person crazy.
And it all goes in a circle, just like
It
just
does.
like on
It
the
does.
weekends, we all go in a circle. You know, guys are ending up in the ride that their buddy just left, and it's just you know, the owners go around, and sometimes you end up with
There's
the same
no
owner again.
loyalties in it, you know. Like maybe you more so. I know you most generally don't call. You don't seem to call, and if you hear Kyle's in trouble, you weren't not going to call Kyle's dad and try to sneak into his ride. And
I call, but it's never a sneak.
Yeah.
I make sure I call. I tried to get in the '83 car for the Outlaws. Brian Clausen ended up in. I talked to David Gravel about it.
I was
you just
shocked by
never
that
know.
move too.
You
Might
just
as well put your name on.
yeah,
Yeah.
I always put my
You
name
gotta
in.
watch.
You'll never know if you know.
Right.
Because if you didn't own your car and you were struggling, somebody else is
right.
going to come and try to do it. It's just, it's part of the
Yeah,
deal.
I tried to get in the 10H for Saturday. I didn't know at the time that Chad was going to get in it. You know, it was before that.
That talk's been going on pretty much for quite a
Yeah,
while. Since
but
at
you
least
never know.
Knoxville. I've heard it since
Right.
Knoxville.
But you never know. So I said something.
Yeah.
You know, no disrespect to Chad, but
Right.
I tried to get in that car too. I called Larry Helms because I knew he knew Rob Hunter, and I sent a text to Brian Kemenow, and he said, yeah, they're probably not going to run, and Chad will be in it next year. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I wasn't going to get in that one, but you got to try just because
Yeah.
you never know.
Yep.
You know, I'll tell you something funny. I think it's funny. I cracked myself up. The 9W car.
Don't you love when you do that?
Yeah.
I love cracking myself
I
up.
don't. Is it Rick Rogers? Is he on the 9W car?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So Jack's out, and I sent a Facebook message to their Facebook page, whatever. And it just, I don't know how to get a hold of them, so I just do it that way. And I said, you were talking about having somebody in the car at Fremont this weekend. I run in the top 10 every week. You know, I can do a good job. I'm the guy. So they put Derek Hager in it. Great choice. Won a lot of 360 races. Great choice. They come there. I don't know where he finished, but I finished 10th in the Jim Ford Classic. So I cracked myself up and sent him a message back with the rundown with me in the top 10, and I said, told you. So I don't know if they ever saw it. I thought it was funny. You know, I'm probably not going to get in
Well,
that
you got to
ride, but-
promote yourself. I mean,
Yeah,
you do it. That's part of the deal. I
You just
think.
never know. I got in Rick Ferkel's car last year. You know, you just never know. So
You
that
gotta
was
sell
worth
yourself.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
That's what.
Yeah, because it is so volatile. You just, you know, people are going to be mad at you even when they don't need to be, and people are going to be happy with you even when they shouldn't be. It's just, it's one of them things
It's what
that you
we
learn.
do.
You're just getting involved in it.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're just
I'm
seeing.
Andy runs a family-owned deal,
Right.
you know, so he probably doesn't see that
No, yeah.
that part.
Yeah. You will if you stay in it for any length of time.
I plan on
You
it.
will. You know, I tried to get in the 16 car when Chris Andrews was trying to get into it.
Right.
We were trying to get in at the same time, and it went with Chris, and it worked out great for them. And you know,
You could have
just-
drove a dirt truck this year too.
I could have drove a dirt truck this year. Yeah. Don't ever put anything out of the way. You want to drive anything.
Oh, I'll drive anything,
The
yeah.
John
By
Ivy,
all means.
John Ivy drives anything.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I think
and
John
wins and everything.
he
so.
does. I think we just had this conversation the other day. I said something to AJ, and she said, "John's going to race go-karts again this weekend." I said, "Isn't there a point where y'all get old enough where you don't want to race go-karts anymore?"
I did. By
Yeah?
the way.
Really?
Yeah.
I think John just likes to race. He just
Yeah.
I never really
what he
ran.
does.
John came up in karts. You came up in karts.
Yeah, I'm actually supposed to be racing an indoor kart this winter,
Yeah.
too.
See, it's different for you. I started right out in a bomber at Oakshade. I started right in a race car.
Right.
So, and I ran go-karts very little. And Tony Beaver has that Big B Fall Classic coming up November 8th. There's a shout out for my buddy Tony. November 8th, the Big B Classic at out behind Beaverville. It's a clone motor race. It's great, good time. Ran there last year, crashed into everybody, ended up finishing 5th. I think Mike Birkin won. Tony put me on probation last year because I hit everybody. So I ended up in the cornfield by myself, all kinds of stuff. So
cracked himself up that time
yeah,
too.
no, I put that. It's different because I drove for a guy named Mark Sawyer. He had a cart. He said he wanted me to run it, and so it's fun when you go out there to them little tracks. Clay Kirchenbauer's got a track, and it's fun. You slide job each other. But when there's a trophy involved, I turned into a complete idiot, and I just drove over and through everybody I could to get
You
the
just
front.
wanted the trophy.
Yeah, I led the race twice, you know, but I drove over Mike Birkin. Mike Birkin came over the back of my helmet at another time and all that kind of stuff. And to me, it's just insane. So Clay Kirchenbauer had his big race last weekend, and Mike Birkin's cheating cart won that race. But
Again, yeah.
he'll probably win the Big B Fall Classic too because he's
He's
cheating.
a cheater.
He broke his shoulder in that
Yeah.
last
a while
year.
back.
Or
Or just a
this
while
year.
back.
Yeah, at the
Yeah.
beginning of this year. But yeah, instead of being on probation and having to worry about it, I just retired from go-kart racing.
Oh, I thought maybe they just kicked you out.
No, I just.
So you're gonna run any of those things he just talked about?
You have a clone motor cart?
I don't have no clone motor sitting around, no.
They're like $125
I know,
bucks at,
straight off the power washer.
yeah. Harbor Freight. Yeah, they're like $125. You pull the governor out.
Them on stuff like $69. $70.
See? Yeah,
At
you
the
gotta get
season
one of those.
sale.
Seat time is
69
seat time.
Yeah, and you're racing with Mike Birkin and Tony
Having
Beaver,
fun.
and you
Yeah.
know, you got real racers out there, and it's fun, and them things have a lot of power too. So we talked about that when Tony was on here, and a little bit when Mike was on here too. But yeah, you got to get a seat time and everything, even if it's a truck
Exactly.
and a go kart. I guess I would still say that. But what else we got to talk about? What time is it? 7:30. The Islanders are tied 1-1 by the way. But
Yay.
I know you had a list of things there.
You know,
that
we got the swap meet coming up this weekend. I think Farmer's gonna have an open practice or something. We
on
probably
the swap
should-
meet day.
I think so.
Oh yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no offense.
it's the late model, for the late models.
No, they did that the other day.
Oh.
They got that crate late model.
How
Crate.
many of them showed up?
Just two.
Two.
But it was like a sporadic thing.
Yeah.
I think he got up Sunday morning and said, I'm gonna go down and play with my crate card. And that's what they did. But
Steve Zabel came out too, I think,
yes,
with his.
he was out because I seen Andrew Lutman. Is that his
Andrew Lutman.
Lutman? I seen he had posted on. I was gone and I happened to scroll through Facebook and I seen loved having my first ride in a late model. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's got that late model out there. He's letting everybody run it. But I think Steve Zabel did. He let him get in it. But
Did Tyler Gunn get one too?
Yeah.
Tyler got in it.
Yeah,
Yep.
Farmer's car.
Yep.
And
Brandon.
Brandon Layton was in it too. Yeah.
In Sable's car, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little too big for Farmer's car.
So that's what they're thinking of having an open practice.
I think if you. Can
Yeah, I sent him a text.
Yeah,
On there, so.
I'm pretty sure when we talked at supper time, he was thinking maybe just, trying to help the fair board out. You'd have to pay $5 to come in because it's a swap meet, and then
Right.
if you want to come and. I always thought it was cool. Like I know Mince's did it once or twice or several times. They had their crew come in if they wanted to go
Right.
fire it or
They've done that
whatever.
at
and-
Oakshade.
Yeah, I actually did it with Mince's at Oakshade. They did that. So if you want to come out and do that, I think that's what he's planning it. But in typical farmer fashion,
There he is.
there he is.
Come on in here and tell us what's going on here at the swap meet.
At the swap meet.
Yeah, you can sit down if you want. Kyle's not taking up much space.
Nice little.
He's got it.
Oh, my practice?
Yeah, I didn't know if that was like something you were doing
It
or.
is now. Open practice.
Open practice on Saturday,
Starting at 11.
starting at 11.
He's making this up right
Any-
now, just so you guys know.
$5.
$5 because you got to get into the swap meet,
You gotta pay your way into the swap meet.
and that's it. You can drive your race car hauler in there, take it down in the infield, and unload the car and make some laps.
Make some laps.
Okay. You're gonna have a flag man and a safety vehicle on hand. And
I
all
have
that
a
stuff?
safety vehicle, no ambulance. We don't have to have one
If you're-
because they're within 5 minutes of there, so.
And you're not going to have like 15 of these guys on the racetrack.
No, no,
Okay.
a couple cars at most of the time.
And then if you find a car that you want at the swap meet, you could probably pick it up and go out there
Test
and
drive.
try it out.
Oh, actually,
Oh,
test drive
hey.
race cars at swap
You
meet.
think you can get Ballman's to sponsor test drives for race cars out there?
Yeah, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
It's a thought.
So what time's the swap meet? It starts at 8.
Oh, that thing starts,
7 a.m.
Butt crack of dawn and
Yeah,
freezing
yeah.
cold, and then
7 a.m. to 3 p.m. and they have.
It's supposed to be really nice, like 65 degrees or something, so
that's good.
be a good opportunity. A lot of guys, if they want to come out and let their crew chief or mechanic or whatever, maybe never got a chance to get in a car, they can get some laps, or if they want to try to learn something, they can get some laps this way. I know TJ Michael was wanting to rent the racetrack this weekend, so he'll probably gladly come out for $5 and
Right.
get some laps.
Any chance of the concession stand being open if people
The
do
fair
happen to
board
come?
always has their concession stand
Okay.
open. We don't have a whole lot left to make it worth being open for, so I don't know. It depends. We may have a little something. It's really up to her. I stay away from the concessions.
Maybe get Maria some laps. Maybe Joe West bring one of his trucks out and Maria can get some laps.
I
in.
kind of wanted to have the powder puff derby that day too, but then you get into having to.
Then you gotta have ambulances, you gotta have safety crew.
It's
you gotta
another
have-
race.
Yeah, it
you got-
is.
Yeah, and
We thought about
it.
it.
Costs way too much money to do that versus, this deal here, we're gonna have some track prep involved and it's
I'm
not
kinda
gonna be
thinking-
like what we would for a normal race night. It's gonna be pretty minimal.
The more that I hear this now, I'm kind of thinking it's kind of like a chauvinist thing. Us girls aren't worth.
Yeah, you can come out and hop in my crate car.
I'm not hopping in that crate car.
I'll bring the 6 car.
I backed
Can
the
I make some
crate
laps in
car
the
off
crate
of
car?
a trailer.
Okay, I'll be out there. I'll make some laps in the crate car.
I backed it off of a trailer, and I was so nervous and anxious about it. The thing is huge. It is huge. I
I
can't
had
see
Tyler Gunn made some laps in it on Saturday or Sunday. We were up there really trying to it had a little engine stumble and we was trying to get that fixed, and then it had a handling issue. It drove really bad, so we got that fixed Sunday, and I put Tyler in it, and at first he was pretty adamant that it had fenders on it, and he wanted no part of it. But after a little coaxing, I got him to get in it.
Yeah, it's a race car.
And he
It's
realized that, and he's like, yeah, he says, this is way better than I thought it would be. So,
He texted me. I thought it was funny. He texted me. He said, "I got Tyler in it." He goes, "This kid's gonna be a race car driver." And I said, "I know. I've been saying that
it took him
forever.
about
I'm
5
glad everybody's
laps,
catching up
you
with
know,
me."
About 5 laps, and he was, just right up to speed and figured it out.
Good deal.
Well,
Good
then they can stay the night and come up for the old timers.
Well, the old
Deal on
timers
Sunday.
deal is just that. It's the old timers deal. It's really not an open invite for
Oh.
kids. It's the old timers deal.
Oh,
When they get old, they become part of the
Okay.
old timers.
I see all kinds of people in
I'm
and out of
close.
there during the old timers thing. So I guess
Brian's getting there.
I'm getting there.
he is.
I'm over 40. Hey, I want to tell you, I did another interview with Jerry Niemeyer. I think you saw that for the Legends deal. It's going to take me longer because I want to get them things right, but I'm going to try and put together a 3 to 5 minute thing, maybe, of highlights of it. Like a preview, so you can show it at that deal on Sunday.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my plan. But it's going to be good. What else you got there on your
Well,
list?
I just don't want people to lose interest in, even though we're gonna have all that silly season stuff going on. But they got the Turn 2 party coming up. They always have that over at Attica. I think that's.
Our banquet is December the 6th.
I
Did
got
you
that.
mention
I'm
that?
getting to that. That's later
It's on the
on
list.
on the list. But the Turn 2 party is November 8th. They've moved. I don't know where that. It's not on Turn 2 anymore.
Right.
So
It's
I
like
don't know
It's
where
a
they.
turn 2 party down the road.
Yeah.
right, like a mile away.
Yeah.
You might have to make 2 turns to get to the turn 2 party.
That could be.
Something
I'm
like
not real
that.
sure.
Right, Kyle?
Shirley's.
Yeah.
There we
Very
go.
worth it, by the way.
Gotta Get him involved
Yeah.
here.
The Turn 2 party is very worth
It
it.
is. We went
Yeah,
over
Good chili,
there.
it's great time.
Do a good
Yeah.
job over there.
Have a lot of little nifty little products you can. do
Last year,
and
I think, was
stuff.
one of the first times I've ever been there for it, and it was
Like
a pretty nice deal. They did a good
$17 or
job.
$1,800 they raised
Yeah.
for Hoserville too.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah,
last
all
year.
that with a barbecue and chili cook-off deal
And a
in the
tent.
corner and a tent.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's they do a great job for sure.
Yeah. Cures Open House, November 15th. Tim's Expo, I wanted to throw that out there because Tim always comes up with his simulator cars and does a good, our people.
That's a big show too.
That's a
the
huge
expo.
thing.
That's we usually it conflicts with the Tiffin Mall show.
He
so,
went earlier, a lot earlier.
We're kind of
this year.
divided on where we can go and what we can do and that kind of stuff. So, but Tim does he does a lot to support.
I
what
think we
do.
drove down to Lima and then back up to Tiffin because it was on the same.
He's got like well over 100 cars.
There's a
at
couple
his deal, right?
buildings, like
Yeah.
it's.
Yeah, it seems like they
he
have
He's
doesn't-
got
like
like I think he has like 120 or 25 or so race vehicles, and there's a handful of go karts and.
right.
Little
And there's
bit of
some
everything.
drag stuff, but I mean, 95% of it is dirt race cars, which is
Is it? And where's
pretty
that?
good.
What?
It's the Allen. It's
Allen
at the
County
Allen County Fairgrounds.
Right.
What's the date on it?
November 29th. And then, of course, in December, our banquet, December 6th at the American
Atticus
Legion.
Banquet's the 22nd. They just put a press release out earlier today.
I did
so
see that today. I'd already wrote
Yeah.
these notes before
The 22nd of
November
November.
at
at the fairgrounds.
the fairgrounds. So, and then over the winter, we'll do our, we're going to be off after tonight, so we'll do our 3-on-3 again.
Probably
Yeah.
3-on-3.
Try to do some.
Chili cook-off went over pretty well last
Yeah.
year, so if
Just to
I bring
keep
that back
everybody
again.
kind of together and we're not all killing each other or being mad at each other over the winter. Because you're going to be out stealing rides, you're going to be out stealing rides.
I hope so.
You're looking, huh? Looking for stealage.
Steal my kids' ride.
Him or me?
I am.
Oh, you are.
My kids' ride.
Oh, darn. Anything else you wanted to put out there? We don't do sponsor thing and stuff. We shut the show down if you start doing that. But
we let him sneak that in there earlier.
He just got a new sponsor. That is a little different than thanking everybody.
Brand new
is it a little
one?
different?
He had
Yeah,
all
I did
year.
just get
see-
one
I
yesterday.
did see on social media that
Yeah.
he's been working hard and he's already landed a new sponsor for next year, so
Yeah.
you could probably give him one.
Yeah, Franklin Sanitation out up here in Ohio.
Good deal.
Yeah.
That's good to pick up sponsors at the end of the year like that. Give you
Yeah.
some momentum going into the
When everyone's
season.
setting their budgets,
Yeah.
all the business fiscal year.
Or they'll tell you, oh, we haven't worked on our budget yet, call us back in.
Yeah,
I just
I've
got a
heard
call-
that.
I got a call earlier today from one of our longtime sponsors that was, they wanted some additional options for going forward.
Mm-hmm.
they're setting their budget tomorrow. So.
And unfortunately, this area, I told you before, there's so many teams and
Exactly,
the racetrack and Fast and Attica, and we're so saturated. Everybody's going to have to really bust their tails to.
Fortunately, though, because of that, local businesses know that there's a lot of people involved in this, so that when they do advertise at the racetrack or on a race car, they know people are
Yeah.
seeing it because it's such a.
At the racetrack, we have a 98% return rate of sponsorship over 15 years. When you go back from when Jim opened in 2000 until the beginning of this season, it's a 98% return rate. So I think that says a lot about.
And
you
we
know, the
picked up
return.
probably 10 new ones over last
Yeah.
winter. We worked, you know, you get to a point where you're like, gosh, we've tapped it out. There is just nowhere else to go. And if you just set your mind to it, and I told him the other day, we're just going to have to work our butts off this winter because there's so many other things going on.
Everybody's competing for the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, you're all competing for the same dollars, whether it's a team, a track, or a series, or whatever. Everybody's they're all seeking the same things. And fortunately, we have that 98% return and a strong base to help us out.
I got one more note, Dave Kemmer. The Bowling Green Mall show is March 13th through 15th. So that's another thing that we can take in on.
March. The Bowling Green one?
The Bowling Green show. Yeah.
Okay.
And usually the Tiffin Mall show is the week after that. Or
Usually
2 weeks
the
after
week
that.
before Attica opens is how
Yeah.
I typically remember when that is.
The
And
Tiffin one?
I'm assuming Greg Smith and them will be doing that again.
Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't got a text from them yet.
So I was just looking because
I did
figured-
too. I
figured
really
maybe
did.
we would hear, but
And they did a good job last year taking
yeah,
over
for their first year taking
for
over
Steve
after
Hartzell.
Scoop and them, it's they had a lot of new stuff with some prizes and that kind of thing, which made it pretty unique.
And
It's-
packed, busy, always a good time because everybody's roaring ready to
Definitely.
go race and buy
Yeah, I like the way they've changed it up the last few years too, and how they got the
People.
Racer's Choice,
Yeah.
the Merchant's Choice, and the People's Choice, because for quite some time that was kind of a,
Iffy?
you know, I wouldn't call it iffy. It was playing within the rules. I mean, but it was if you lived in Tiffin, you were going to win.
Yeah.
Basically, it was.
Well,
the
you can
rest of-
still politic it because I won the People's Choice this year, and I told everybody you needed to
They
go and
gave
vote.
cookies?
And yeah, oh yeah, we gave them cookies, and I walked them down there to vote, and it
Brian's
paid off.
like a trophy whore, I just
To
found
me-
out tonight.
to
If
me,
there's a
I-
trophy involved, he's winning
I
that trophy.
personally feel the Racer's Choice is the prestigious one.
Yeah,
to
definitely,
me, because you're judged by your peers,
And Jim Linder won that this year. and
Yeah.
it was
And
well
Rightfully so,
deserved.
yeah.
we've won that a couple other times. I won it with the 11F car before, and we won it with the 312 once. So it's you know, that one is kind of a little more prestigious to me because you're by your peers.
Yep. Yep. So last show of the year, we gonna try and do this, or not try and do this
Come back
over the
when
winter?
before the racing season starts.
Well,
or-
maybe, you know, if we have anything special, we have a nice, you know, social media outlet, we can always,
Throw it up there.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, the nice thing about us, we don't owe rent. We can open up anytime we want. So.
You don't know this whole Renegade, All-Star, Finley, Fremont thing might be huge this winter. We might just
Yeah.
want to come on and
There
gossip about
could be
it.
some breaking news or something
Yeah.
that would warrant
Right.
having something special. And, you know, Randy and Lisa, they're gonna open Finley up, and we've been there before, and we wish them the best, and, you know, hopefully it works
He's
out
not been
for 'em.
watching the show.
No.
No, he was out there talking.
No, I was out there politicking, I was doing race
We already
days.
covered that.
Yeah, we did talk about that. But all right, well, I think it went well. Our biggest show actually was when we broke the Renegade Series open. That was the last lap live,
It was.
where that news was broke.
And I'm still sitting here waiting to see a schedule and a point fund and all that stuff since then. So
I keep seeing it's coming.
I keep seeing us coming too.
They're
It's
adding
coming.
dates, you gotta give them that much,
Yeah.
they're definitely, they're adding dates, on a pretty regular basis so far. They're resurrecting a lot of dead, but they're adding races, so we'll see how it goes for them.
Did you start the closing music?
No,
Is
that's
that-
not power.
That sounds like closing music to me. All right. Well,
He's kicking a get the hell over here.
sorry we didn't get you in here a whole lot talking about all this stuff, but thanks for
That's
coming
okay,
in.
Yeah.
You could have jumped in and said, "Yeah, that's right."
Right, you could have jumped in on the Renegade stuff. All right, well, I want to thank Rich Farmer for starting this last live deal back up again, and Stephen Pocock on the board over there for when he turns our volume
Keeping
on.
our sound happening.
Yep, I'm assuming you all can still hear me. Thanks to Shelly Liskai, my co-host here, and all of our guests that's come on. The last thing we're going to do is
You
the
almost
last one
forgot
of the
it,
year,
didn't ya?
is having a ball with art.
Oh,
You've
man.
seen the show.
Told me.
Somebody warned me about
Here's the marker.
Well, it's not that much. Don't worry
Well,
about it.
keep in mind your
Your
dad,
dad did the best job ever.
has done the best job, probably.
Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
saying
your
no.
dad, Chris
Okay,
Andrews.
so what do I have to
you
do
put it
with
on
that?
your head,
Okay.
flip it back over so you're on just the plain white.
There you
Well,
go.
upside. There you go. Right.
Are you on the plain white?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my one.
Draw the Capit Ice Racing number 12. Make sure you outline the
Oh,
numbers
man.
like it is.
The good thing is you give them a black marker, so at least have the color correct.
Right. All he's got to do is go like this and
Yeah.
just scribble it all in.
Somehow leave a 12 in there.
Almost all the greats have done this, so yours is going to be up there with
Man,
almost all the greats.
No
Yeah.
pressure.
No pressure.
There's
at all.
one out there that looks like Elf.
I have to draw a sprint car then?
Yeah,
Maria's.
sprint
That,
car.
that's what you're racing. You
Maria's
gotta-
was like a crown. Hers was pretty.
Yeah, and there's a flag stand out there too.
Yeah.
Scott Barman did the flag stand.
Oh,
so.
man.
We're ending the show. This is like the giant crescendo here. This is the biggest event of the year right here. We're going
It
off the
is.
air, and it's
This
you
is going to look bad.
drawing
I've
your head.
enjoyed the show tonight. Coming in here, not having a real big agenda.
Yeah, that was good. Did you see my video, Rich? The
You missed
opening
a
No,
good
I
video.
did not. I seen it. I seen pieces of it that you had on social media.
Oh, okay. Yeah, hopefully that gained us some more viewers. I figured I'd throw that up early.
Those are always nice.
He does a good job, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Give a
Turned out
hand to
good.
Brian Smith for that.
Okay,
We're
I
lost
got
when-
nothing else.
When he, did you cheat?
That's all I got.
All right.
Does it look like a race car?
Does it look
It does.
halfway decent?
Oh man, it looks like he wrecked.
Does
But
it?
look at hey, the 12's on there.
I said
It's
something
the
like
dyke.
halfway is decent.
I think it does.
Maybe if you turn it that way.
Don't worry, nobody's gonna be disappointed.
Isn't that the guy that shows up at
We're gonna have
Knoxville
to
that's got
sign
the
it.
sprint car wings on his hat? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Autograph
Yeah,
that for us.
You get to look
Someday
at
you're
that
going to be
part.
rich and famous. We'll sell that off. And
I hope so.
we didn't do that at the. You know what? I got so involved in everything, I totally forgot about that.
I tell you what, let's set it all up and make a couple package deals for the Hoserville auction at the Tiffin Mall show. We can do it that way. Got some time to do it. So thanks again, everybody, for watching the Last Lap Live. We will not be on next Tuesday night at 7 o'clock.
But you
Okay.
can always still catch Rich Farmer on the Buckeye Speed Zone. On
Oh, I think we stopped that after
that's
this
done
week,
too.
I hope.
We're always going to have like a weekly get together and put our heads together to find out what's going on. Really.
Fremont
I'm not
Speedway's,
even sure if we have if we're on there this week. I'd have to ask Brian to make sure.
Fremont Speedway's Twitter account. Check out thelastlaplive.com for all of the old shows. You can go back and see all your favorites on there.
Some have sound, some don't.
That's right.
Be
At
choosy
least
when
check
you
out
pick.
the opening videos. They're all pretty cool. So there is some other stuff on there. I think that's all I got.
We'll see everybody at the swap meet on Saturday.
That's right. Come out for $5 and
Watch
check out
Brian
the,
Smith
And get
check
your
out that
banquet
crate.
tickets.
Get your
Oh,
banquet
yeah.
tickets.
Gotta get your banquet
Yeah.
tickets. If you're not present, you don't win.
If you're not present, you don't collect.
That too.
Okay.
Do you split the money among the other people?
No, that money goes back into the startup fund.
You know, I know you're trying to quit here, but that's just been a big deal on social media. You see Lima's going without. They're not gonna have a banquet anymore. They're gonna the last night of racing. They're gonna pass out your
Oh yeah.
checks to you.
And we've had some teams that have suggested to do that, but the banquet. If you look back over the pictures, which we're one of the fortunate racetracks and have a lot of pictures of history, and people used to wear suit and
It
ties.
used to be a
and
big deal.
Now they wear football jerseys.
T-shirts and.
I wore a tux the year I won the championship.
Yeah, it's not near as respectable as it once was, but it's just different now. And
Make it a formal event.
well,
You can do that.
I don't do
It's hard
formal
enough.
myself, so it's kind of hard
Oh
for
my
me to make
gosh,
everybody else do.
We went on vacation. You had to dress up one night, and he bitched the whole time.
Country club casual, khakis and a button-down shirt. It's not
Well,
that
and
hard.
this formal night was a tie and a button-down shirt. It wasn't like
And slacks, and dress
slacks.
shoes,
Slacks.
whatever the hell you call them damn things.
I caught
It wasn't
slacks.
it wasn't jeans.
No
they didn't
wonder.
say Levi on them. I know that.
No wonder all your pictures are like this.
Yeah.
I know you got one. You got the only good
How
smile.
about that smile I got?
That was a good one.
That
He
a
was
good one.
he was anticipating it because he come home. He goes, "I took a stupid selfie with Brian Smith with a
And
real
the one with
camera."
Todd was pretty good.
Yeah, the one with that was good too.
He
The
goes
smile
with a
was
real
good, too.
camera. It wasn't even a phone. It was a real
Yeah,
camera.
that's not really a selfie. That's just taking a picture.
No, that's like a prehistoric selfie. It's like we went back in time.
And then I seen it. And he's got this big smile, and I went back through our vacation pictures. None.
Yeah.
None
So
like
Don't say
that.
none.
she's gonna send me your vacation picture. Well, not all of them. She's gonna send me your vacation pictures with you in them making that face, and then I'm gonna put that
You're gonna
smile
crop it.
face on top of them, and then I'll give them back to her, and then she'll have all them
Look
happy
how
memories.
much fun Rich was having on vacation.
That's right.
Yeah. Anybody that knows me knows that that was bullshit.
All right, so now you got an example of what it is that happens before the show and after the show. So that's the way that it really
See, I
goes
think
here.
when
so.
we come back in the spring, we should have like a hidden camera so they can catch all that real talk that we do earlier.
Yeah.
Because then when these guys come on, we're all like, "Oh, we can't say that."
Yeah, and as
Oh,
if
we
Farmer
can't
didn't
talk
have
about
enough,
him.
as if he didn't have enough enemies,
Yeah.
and then we would all have enemies, and that maybe I don't know. We'll see. Maybe
And you
that
wouldn't
could be
have to
fun.
say, "You should say that just like that." I dare ya.
All right, I'm going home. I've had enough. Thanks for watching. See ya.